Beastbusters, released in arcades in 1989 by SNK and then ported to the Amiga and Atari ST in 1990, stands out in a sea of light gun horror shooters like House of the Dead, CarnEvil, or even its own sequel, Beastbusters Second Nightmare, and I think you could probably see why. Yeah, despite its grotesque designs and the bursting into gory bits upon death, which, let's be real, it holds up and gives this game its own identity for sure. But it's pretty hard to ignore the fact that when most people want to steep themselves in the horrors of the night, they don't really want the game that's surprisingly bright and colorful and just lacking a looming atmosphere. Tension, suspense, man, we don't need those. This may be horror, but it is all about the action. The dead have risen. But have no fear, the government is here to do what it does best to rectify the situation.
I'm the government, I'm the government, I'm the reason nothing works. You're all gonna die!
Relax. They are willing to throw boatloads of cold hard cash at the problem and anyone who can solve it. And that's where you come in. You and up to 2 buddies play as a trio of bounty hunters looking to get your bag by basically just handling the zombie apocalypse. The only way a 90s action hero would. Loads and loads of firepower. Though, you're still gonna have to contribute the one-liners. Hail to the king, baby. Oh, come on. It works. Especially since it's pretty obvious that these aren't your run-of-the-mill, slowly shambling undead. From giant monster birds to ravenous doggos, monster piranhas, that giant ball of zombies from Castlevania, whatever the hell this thing is, and literally the greatest justification for the Second Amendment ever. Yeah, this game gets a little weird. And we're talking like early arcade era weird here. And trust me, I would not have it any other way. But of course, we can't forget about the actual zombies. Big, blue, naked. Oh crap, these things are packing heat. They must be American. Unfortunately for them, so am I. Which is why, once again, I am rocking my Sinden Lightgun. Though, it doesn't quite have the feel I'm looking for this time. Taking a quick gander at the original arcade machine, which is the version we're focusing on, it's pretty obvious that there is a big difference in gun types here, and the gameplay certainly reflects that, as you need to channel your inner Rambo if you want to survive. No conserving ammo, no cheap ambushes, it is just spray and pray, baby, as you push forward with enemies that never stop swarming. Attacking from the foreground, the background, the land, the air, the sea. Nowhere is safe. Your trigger finger is gonna cramp because you are not letting go. In fact, there's so much gunfire that it might as well be the soundtrack, as it basically drowns out the pretty average but still serviceable music. Though you should definitely be prepared to be serenaded with the sweet sounds of bullets, explosions, and yeah, it's a lot, and your only reprieve comes during the short moments in between stages when you are slowly drip-fed the story about how the city is basically gone to hell. Not that you can't see that yourself. Though sadly, these cutscenes never actually amount to anything and are mostly just left up for speculation. Though it does set up for a sequel, which wouldn't end up manifesting for another 10 years. But that is a very different game. Not to mention the RPG and the mobile game that would come after that. Yeah, those exist. Sort of. But who really cares about all that? You're not here for the why, you're here for this.
I started blasting. Bang!
And hell, you don't even really have to reload. That's how much you're gonna be blasting. But that's not to say the game is completely mindless. You don't exactly have infinite firepower, as you unload round after round into anything and everything that dares to move, and especially the stuff that doesn't. Caches of ammo and screen-clearing grenades will come raining down.
This isn't as cool as it seems! Oh god. Is that one missing a pin?
With the occasional health kit and armor set popping up for good measure. Which, yeah, you're gonna need if you want to survive. Because, like with most arcade games, Beastbusters is absolutely trying to bleed your wallet dry. Which is just a nice way of saying it's super freaking cheap. Especially after the first stage, when it gets overwhelming. Ooh, and the bosses, they aren't much better. Despite how cool and disturbing some of these monstrosities look, every boss fight is pretty much the same, with the big bad just running around launching never-ending volleys of projectiles at you, usually in some kind of like back and forth pattern. Blocking them and managing to actually hit the boss, that's a chore. So if you do somehow find yourself playing an actual Beastbusters arcade machine out in the wild, and good luck with that, you're going to want to make sure you've got 2 friends by your side, as there's just no way to hit everything on your own. My recommendation, 2 players on defense, 1 on offense. And if hunting one of these cabinets down seems like way too much of a hassle, Beastbusters is also available as part of the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection, or you could just try and get the Amiga or Atari ports working, but goodness knows, I couldn't. Emulators, am I right? But, just so you know, those ports are only 2-playered, and apparently much slower, and not nearly as action-packed. But then again, that's just what I've heard. Take it with a grain of salt. Either way, horror fan or not, Beastbusters Arcade is an enjoyably mindless 30-minute romp, best played with friends. Though honestly, I really wouldn't bother if you don't have a light gun.